Greetings, BlazeLeeDragon, and this is a video response to Adnilra EclecticPath Equillibrium. And if I pronounced your name incorrectly, I apologize. She says, I would like a video regarding the language used on spells. Okay, now this is going to be a rather interesting, vague video, sharing my personal opinion and preference. So let's talk about the language used in spells. Well, that honestly comes down to the individual. If you're going to do a spell and you're going to use words, usually it's done in your native tongue. So if you're English, you would use English. If you're American, you would use an American version of English. If, you were Indian, you might use Hindi. If you were Russian, you would use Russian. If you were Chinese, you would use Mandarin or Cantonese or something along those lines. So the essential idea here is that you are wanting to speak during a spell, you are trying to raise certain powers and vibrations. And as with spell work and spellcraft, I'm not sure if I have a video on spellcraft yet or not. If I don't, I'll try to make you one. So the idea of speaking during spells is to raise certain vibrations, such as using the different elements of candles or ritual tools or wearing robes or listening to music. It's all about bringing up these vibrations. So when you are speaking with intent, you are helping to direct that intent. So when you are speaking power words, or making up power words on the spur of the moment, or reading somebody else's spell, you are trying to speak these in order to bring up that type of energy, not only in your mind and your awareness in yourself, but also to help to manifest them in your spell. So the language that you use is not necessarily as important as the intent and the authority you speak with behind the spell that you're trying to cast. You don't necessarily have to be verbal with your spell, you can be mental as well. Once again, it is more important, in my personal opinion and practice, to direct your thoughts and intent beyond the actual words used, which is why some individuals will do what's called speaking in tongues. Now, the debate on speaking in tongues, that's debatable. Some people have different definitions than I do. But essentially what I mean by speaking in tongues in this case and sense, yeah, Superman shirt, is basically speaking with any sort of babbling gibberish to bring about what makes you inspired or feeling for that particular need, want, or desire. So if you have in mind what you're trying to cast the spell for, and then you just literally, whatever, just speak with babble, gurgle, let it out, because essentially it is the vibration and the intent behind the word, and as long as you are projecting that and feeling that out there, then at the end of the day it doesn't really matter what you're saying, and that's my personal preference. Now, another use of language in spells is it is very common, especially in a lot of the Western magical spellcraft, to use Latin. Why? Simply because Latin is the root of most of the English words, at least. There is usually root words in scientific conversation, and everything has a scientific name, and they're Latin words. So it is believed by some that the Latin language is a very powerful and ancient language, so it is very common to recite stuff in Latin. So that is a very popular language to use. Once again, though, using your normal language, or if you do know a foreign language, if it feels more comfortable to speak it in that language. Also, it is used by some to speak words in reverse, or to say words in rhyme. So, once again, it comes down to personal preference. It depends on what type of spells you're doing, for what type of religious, spiritual, or personal practice that you're trying to do it with. So that's essentially my answer as far as the language and spells. It just comes down to personal preference, what you're comfortable with, what you know. And to me, at least, it is more important to make sure you're bringing up those vibrations and that intent than it is about what you're specifically saying. So, this is BlazeLeeDragon. Give me some thumbs up if you like my videos. And once again, I'm currently, at least as of today, on Facebook, BlazeLeeDragon public page. Like that, follow that. I post some of my videos. If you have any questions, feel free to post below, and I'll try to give you a video response. So, enjoy.